Hello, welcome to Real Frank Rants. In this episode, we're going to talk about how the NCAA hates cheeseburgers. Maybe the NCAA prefers tacos. Or maybe everything's okay with pizza. Or maybe the problem was the cheeseburger had cheese on it. Hamburger, everything would have been okay. So why? Why does the NCAA hate cheeseburgers? And why are they upset with Harbaugh? Were their feelings hurt? Ego crushed? A little bit of a Napoleon complex because someone wasn't afraid of them? Or maybe there's more to that story. We're going to dig into all of that next.
Real Frank.
All right, so the NCAA really hates Jim Harbaugh and his cheeseburgers. But what does the NCAA really stand for? Let's take a look. Nobody can attack authority. Maybe that's what it means. Or needy council agency asses. Maybe. Or National Crybaby Administrator assholes. Maybe. Or no cats allowed anywhere. Maybe that's it. No cats allowed anywhere. So initially, the NCAA was going to suspend Harbaugh for 4 games due to recruiting violations. But over the weekend, some news broke. Jim Harbaugh's suspension deal with NCAA falls through, expected to drag into 2024. What the heck is going on?
When the hell did this happen?
All of a sudden, the 4 games are gone, and everyone cheers. Yay! This could be all over. The NCAA Committee on Infractions rejected the negotiated settlement, which had included a 4-game suspension to start the year. Now the case is expected to go to a full hearing that would likely take place sometime in 2024. Harbaugh is now expected to coach the entirety of the 2023 season. So at least he gets to coach all of 2023. But what's going to happen in 2024? What dirty tricks is the NCAA up to because Harbaugh didn't play ball with them? Now, there's a great guy on Twitter called Swanky Wolverine. He is an excellent follow if you don't follow him. He had this great tweet. Exclusive, Jim Harbaugh speaking at the NCAA Investigation Committee hearing. So I imagine this is possibly what can happen next year at the hearing in 2024. Let's take a look.
You are a cover-up artist and you are a liar.
This is such a crock of shit.
Excuse me?
No, I don't think I will. You're building a rat ship here. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place. Hoo-ah.
Hoo-ah! Maybe that's what's going to happen next year at the big committee hearings. Oh, that would be spectacular. Let's watch it one more time.
You are a cover-up artist and you are a liar.
This is such a crock of shit.
Shit!
Excuse me?
No, I don't think I will. You're building a rat ship here. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place. Hoo-ah!
Hoo-ah! What a great job by Swanky Wolverine. Bravo. Bravo. To make matters even more interesting, when the news broke about the whole 4-game suspension breaking down and going into next year possibly with a committee hearing, the NCAA released a statement. Now, up until this point, everyone was supposed to be tight-lipped and unable to comment on any of this. But for whatever reason, the NCAA felt they could. Let's take a little quick peek at it. The Michigan infraction case is related to impermissible on and off campus recruiting during the COVID-19 dead period and impermissible coaching activities. Not a cheeseburger. Not a cheeseburger. So it wasn't about a cheeseburger. Now, Harbaugh's attorney, Tom Mars, posted this on Twitter. Pursuant to the NCAA's internal operating procedures and under threat of penalties, Michigan, the involved coaches, and their lawyers are prohibited from uttering a word about this ongoing case. Yet the NCAA can issue a public statement putting a spin on the case. Unreal. Crazy. And amazing at the same time. The NCAA is so pissed at all the backlash they're getting over a cheeseburger, couldn't help themselves about putting a public statement out there. In 20 years, I've never seen the NCAA give much of any comment about any infraction case before its final. This one is very specific. The NCAA's feelings were apparently very, very hurt by Harbaugh and the backlash from the media and the post boards. This is getting kind of scary. This may get ugly over some minor silly stuff. Then Tom Mars, Harbaugh's lawyer, posted another tweet. Not a forbidden comment about any particular NCAA enforcement case, just some information about the NCAA's bylaws and internal rules regarding public comments about the COI and the parties to a pending NCAA matter while the case is being adjudicated. And he attaches the actual form of those laws that he referenced in there. Here they are. If you choose, you can read those, pause the video, and take a peek. They're the exact copy that he posted in his Twitter feed. Oh, look how nice that NCAA headquarters is in Indiana. Nice. NCAA wants you to be very clear that it has nothing to do with a cheeseburger. NCAA enforcement staff alleged that Harbaugh was dishonest about the recruiting violations in his initial meeting with investigators. Quick resolution broke down in January after Harbaugh refused to admit that he lied to NCAA staff. 59-year-old coach has maintained he didn't recall the events when first speaking with investigators, but he was never purposely dishonest. What a sweet guy. The NCAA's obsession clarifying that it was not a cheeseburger what makes this story so amazing. Not a cheeseburger suggests the NCAA is so embarrassed by the dragging it receives online that it's hell-bent on heading Harbaugh even harder than its own enforcement staff thought was acceptable. Presumably, Harbaugh violates some rules as in line for some level of punishment, but that hasn't yet been proven. Kangaroo Court, meanwhile, is a kangaroo court, and the NCAA has signaled quite publicly that the kangaroo court is exactly what awaits him. Kind of sounds like our U.S. government right now. So apparently it looks like the NCAA had their feelings hurt. And once it became publicized that their feelings were hurt, they started to get a little more nasty. A once mighty NCAA has been turned into a shadow of its former self, akin to a toddler throwing a fit in the middle of the grocery store. The NCAA took its ball and ran home after Jim Harbaugh refused to cooperate. This is perfectly put. They're pouting! And let's not forget, over the years, other schools have committed similar infractions and far, far worse, with far less scrutiny from the NCAA. Well, here's some examples. Don't forget no penalties for the University of Georgia with alcohol-fueled fatalities of a player and a recruiter the night after the NCAA victory in an athletic department car. It's very tragic what happened, but that story kind of disappeared. Was there any punishments for that? Anything come out of that? Or nothing? Clemson fed the team a banned substance. Nothing came out of that. All hush from that. I don't recall hearing anything being punished for that. Sam Webb, who's the Michigan Insider, had this tweet. I asked several guests on Michigan Insider just last week if NCAA would keep looking for pound of flesh, admit to lying versus making level 2 mistakes, even after it gave Tennessee a love tap for 200 infractions. 200 infractions! Tennessee! And we're talking about a few fibs. Indeed, the Jim Harbaugh case is not about a cheeseburger. The NCAA has made it a lot bigger than that now. Absolutely. Again, I just think the NCAA's feelings were hurt. They're very, very upset. Know what this kind of feels like? This. Remember this in 2016? Deflategate. Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games for deflating balls supposedly by the training staff that he wasn't aware of, and they made this big hoopla, and it went to court, and it was a whole debacle, a whole escapade, a whole big drama over little PSIs. And do you remember how that season ended? That's right. They won the Super Bowl. That was that amazing comeback that the Patriots had, being down like 25, 30 something to nothing. And then they came back and won the Super Bowl in overtime. Doesn't it feel like this is going to be set up kind of the same way? That we are going to see this Harbaugh accepting the National Collegiate Championship trophy from the NCAA? Doesn't it almost seem like destiny that this is what's going to happen? And boy, do I pray so hard, oh my God, please, God, please, that this does happen, of the awkwardness that the NCAA having to admit Michigan is the national champs. But I don't trust them. They'll probably find some way to screw them out. But it just feels like the stars are so aligned for this beautiful picture book ending. Yes, the NCAA is screwing Jim Harbaugh and Michigan because their feelings got hurt. But in the end, I truly believe Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines of the 2023 season are going to have a fantastic year and have a pretty good chance of finishing on top. Really hope this happens so the NCAA can go fuck themselves. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Got a clear view, penthouse vision mood. To the top, I'm gon' pop, you gon' see me soon.